A brilliant 10-year-old knows more about life and death than I ever could, and all he wants is mac and cheese for dinner. Iran wants to have America for dinner, and America wants a god. Per New York Post. It's all got me gaslit, and this is Gaslit News. What's up, guys? Thanks for welcome to Gaslit News. So up first here is I won't share the daggone thing. So don't forget to hit the bell for all of the topics that I'm going to discuss today. I think I'm going to air this video as a live stream so I can be in the chat and catch up with. Shout out to Miriam Kirby and Jaguar Wrong. So I can be in the chat for one of those guys or any one of you guys. And guys, don't forget, sign up for the newsletter. The link is going to be in the description of the video. And hopefully I've had time to adjust the intro, because it says like my email, but that's not where you go. But yeah, the link is in the description box of this video, so that's where you go. Sign up for the email. I'm going to be having posts there just about different things that we can chat about. Join the conversation, start the conversation. It is what it is. Well, I'm always going to start the conversation, and you guys are always going to divert it. But in any event, so shout out to the New York Post, Lauren Jackson. Okay. So per the New York Post, America wants a god. And my whole thing is, America had one and has one. He left because you guys didn't want him here. His people are still here, so hopefully he will get us to safe exile. And you guys took him out of school, doing blasphemous things. So it's kind of weird, Lauren. But obviously a millennial wrote this. Happy Easter. Today we're sharing Believing, a year-long project from the Times exploring how people experience religion and spirituality now. We're also covering deportations, Ukraine, and our colleagues reporting inside Syria. Believing by Lauren Jackson. Americans believe. Most people are wary of the government, the future, and even each other. But they still believe in astonishing possibilities. Almost all Americans, 92% of adults, say they have a spiritual belief in God, human souls, or spirits, an afterlife or something beyond the natural world. As we reported earlier this year, the country seems to be acknowledging this widespread spiritual hunger. America's secularization is on pause. People have stopped leaving churches, and religion is taking a more prominent role in public life. In the White House, Silicon Valley, Hollywood, and even at Harvard, it's a major generational shift. But what does this actually look like in people's lives? I've spent the past year reporting Believing, a new project for the Times. This project is personal to me. I was raised a devout Mormon in Arkansas. I've left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I understand how wrestling with belief can define a life. I hope to capture what that journey looked like for others too, both inside and outside of religion. I interviewed hundreds of people, visited dozens of houses of worship, and asked Times readers for their stories. More than 4,000 responded. In my reporting, I found that there are many reasons for this shift in American life. Researchers say the pandemic and the country's limited social safety nets have inclined people to stick with or even turn to religion for support. But there's another reason, too. Many Americans are dissatisfied with the alternatives to religion. They feel an existential malice, and they're looking for help. People want stronger communities, more meaningful rituals, and spaces to express their spirituality. They're also longing to have richer, more nuanced conversations about belief. Okay, I'm done. I'm completely done. I don't care about what Lauren Jackson has to say. And I didn't know I didn't care until I started to listen. So that's good. I actually gave, it a chance. Because first of all, you're so proud of saying that you reached all of these people, 4,000 responded, dozens of houses of worship. And like And not one time did you did you spread the word of Jesus Christ? Well, we know you didn't because you actually were a Mormon and then you left that, you left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so now you're wrestling with belief. No, I'm sorry. You're no longer wrestling with belief because you diverted your struggle to trying to figure out everyone else's. Like, this is all the time you have in life. Um, I don't care what anyone else believes. And it's pretty sad that a person that can acknowledge that Jesus Christ in fact died for their sins and acknowledges Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, it's pretty sad that a person that feels that way can just be content in their belief and does not feel the need to, you know, push anybody else into that, right? You can make your own decisions. I encourage you to do what's right. And what I believe is right is repenting for your sins and acknowledging the fact that there is a man that lived and spirit still lives that died for your sins. Um, that's important to me. And it's more than what's important to me. It's who I am. So I don't feel the need to, well, that's just like I need to validate to you who I am. That's it. I don't need to do that. I don't have a bunch of tattoos. I don't need anything speaking for me. And that's just how I feel about that. I'm very explanatory. And what you don't know about me is not for you to know. Everyone on this earth is not for everyone's viewership or everyone's, comprehension, right? Or everyone's liking. Like, what is that? you know? And what is this is like a pick me thing. Let me go around and see what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is thinking, because I'm so confused. Death is just ridiculous. And I just feel like it's also a bit shameful to admit to having touched the lives of so many people and not spreading the word of Jesus Christ. And again, I wasn't with her. Maybe she was there. I mean, maybe she did in some kind of way. Maybe she spoke about her past as being, at the Church of Latter-day Saints. But I feel like more than likely she spoke against it because she left. And then you left and you have no religion. You have no alternative. But I'm going to tell you, there is none. There's absolutely none. And that is what America is finding out. So back to that. That's insane. That's insane. See, it's under the guise and the belief that she is America, that she has something to do with, how America is today or how America was built. She thinks that she's a descendant. Well, I will say that she is a descendant of a person who believes that this country is theirs. She clearly speaks this way. Yes, honey, you guys have taken the country and this is what has come of it now, darling. And so, but in fact, America, this land was given to a people and things weren't always going this way. What is interesting is that you got to ask yourself, why now? Why now? All these things we see have been going on. Everything that we're finding out is like in the aftermath of, right? We're hearing voice messages, we're looking at text, videos. These things are in the aftermath. And it's like if they were surveilled, which they were because they were caught camera on record, then why weren't they brought forth then? America has been wicked. That is why. This entire setup has been wicked and has been thriving off of wickedness for a very long time. And it's sad that a lot of us didn't know. I didn't know. I was not sure. I had some feelings in my spirit, but that I'm being spiritually attacked and all other kinds of attacks, So I don't know. I'm just fighting to survive and to make sure that my family is surviving, most of that time. And so, and when you find out, when you know. So I don't know. This is pretty sad what she's saying. And I just felt like it's another thing that makes the God that America actually has angry. Here you are trying to replace him again, saying that he's not even there, not acknowledging the fact that you've done him wrong completely. There are commandments and we were to follow them and are. And you can repent for your sins and claim Jesus Christ today. I hope that didn't sound cheesy because I'm for real. All right. Shout out to timesofisrael.com. President credentials to Hezron Huckabee says Iran seeks to destroy Israel, then U.S. Amid renewed nuclear talks, new American ambassador says Israel is the appetizer and the U.S. is the entree. For Tehran, FM tells him Jerusalem couldn't have asked for better envoy. So we are actually, um, I feel as though we've been at war for a while, and that's with those airplanes going down and all this kind of stuff. And it feels like we're being attacked from the inside. It feels like we've been sold out by someone in the American government. And that's just the way it feels. And I am able to state how I feel right now. And so that's just what that's just what I'm getting from all of like what's going on. And it's really, really, really sad. But in a way, again, it goes back to, Lauren Jackson's article. You know, America, from what I have seen, like like not the individual people, because I don't know everybody, right? But I've heard some things. But there's been a lot of really wicked things going on here and in the government, and it's constantly being unfolded to us, and it will be. And I mean, I think even the way how we're watching the government respond and how they're treating us and all this, you know, other thing that Donald Trump is doing, in the government, I think it's just kind of like showing people that they don't care about the actual people. It just looks like the war has been against the actual Americans for quite some time. And now it's like a real war. It's like, it seems like the representatives of America have gone out there with the troops and done things across the world that are pretty bad. And now it's got to come back. It's just like retribution, man. Um, so after presenting his letter of credence to President Isaac Herzog on Monday, Washington's new ambassador Mike Huckabee accused Iran of seeking to destroy Israel and the United States. It has always been their desire that Israel would be the opening act and then it would be America's turn to face destruction, said Huckabee, who also discussed Iran with Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on Monday. Or to put it in another simple way, Israel is the appetizer and the United States is the entree. The statement came as the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump negotiates with Tehran to soften U.S. sanctions on Iran in exchange for restrictions on its nuclear program. Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi first held talks in Muscat on April 12th and again in Rome on Saturday and are set to hold a third round of talks this Sunday. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was expected to speak to Trump over the phone on Monday to discuss the talks and other matters. The Walla news site reported as Iran accused Israel of seeking and to undermine the talks. Speaking to Huckabee on Monday, Herzog said Iran continues to pursue its radical vision of regional dominance and destabilization on its own and via its proxies, whilst pursuing nuclear arms and openly calling for the destruction of Israel. I know you, Mike, share both our heartbreak and our absolute resolve to see every last hostage freed from the Hamas dungeons and returned to their loved ones, added Herzog, referring to the 59 captives still in Gaza. Immediately, every last one. Comparing Huckabee to the biblical patriarch Abraham, Herzog said his appointment as envoy is a shining reflection of the president's love, friendship, and support for the state of Israel. Huckabee, a Baptist minister, said his appointment by Trump's was a calling from God himself. That mission to stand with the people of Israel for peace and prosperity, said the pro-settler Republican, adding that support of Israel is a divine position. Later Monday, Huckabee met with Saar at the Foreign Ministry in Jerusalem to discuss Iran's nuclear program, according to the Foreign Minister's office. They also discussed other strategic issues and the strengthening of U.S.-Israel ties. The readout said it added that Saar thanked Huckabee for his decades of support and told him Israel could not have asked for a better U.S. ambassador. Okay, I'm sorry, Netflix again. Shout out to Netflix. Lately they've had this influx of like these reality TV game shows, and it's really, really cool. Because I can like literally, like, you are able to see kind of like the world in this way. The way television kind of have always really told us what's really going on. I'm watching it and I'm learning. So then there's like this thing that's always happening where people are having conversations, a couple of us over here, and then we're brought to the world, to the table, and then it's like a different decision is made. I think we literally just watched that happen with Zelensky, Trump, and JD Vance. And I did a reaction video to that because I just thought that was crazy, crazy weird, and really rude of Trump. And not only that, it kind of freaked me out because it brought me back to a time when I was younger. Like, like I was bullied. I was very awkward looking, growing up. I had to like grow into my looks. I was like two-tone. I finally grew into one shade. Lots of things. Like, look at this nose, you know what I'm saying? And I have on makeup, so you know what I'm saying? And I don't have much. That's why my nose still looks big. But yeah. And so I had to grow it on the inside and then grow like confidence too on so like grow into my looks on the outside and then grow confidence on the inside. Whatever. I've been bullied. So that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, I don't like how I felt like Zelensky was attacked. Now, I'm not talking about, if Ukraine started the war or not, or if he's right or wrong. I don't know about all that. What I'm saying is, like, from what I saw, that brought me back to like some sort of a trauma. And Zelensky and I trauma bonded in that moment because I felt like they were there having a conversation, and then he was literally chastised for not doing something that he actually did. It's like somebody just picked a fight with him, like JD Vance just picked a fight with him, and then literally they've fallen out since then, like ever. And that was something that was clearly choreographed. So that's just like, if you are, oh my gosh, I hate this, but this reminds me of what happened to that girl, Shanquilla Robinson. May she fly in peace. It's the same situation. So again, I was bullied when I was younger, and people will sit up here and they'll come up with a reason to like, hey, now we're gonna fight. JD Vance sat up there, and with Zelensky, they already, like, these people have talks before they're actually like with the cameras in front of us. So there were some things that were said. He wasn't expecting that. You can even look at him until he was totally taken aback. Shanquilla Robinson, she went on a trip with her friends all the way to another country, and then they decided that they were going to beat her up. They just started a fight over nothing. And I mean, the way they beat her, that was planned. That wasn't even like, oh, we're angry at you. And then she was, let's just say we didn't even know that she was actually attacked by several different people. Even if it was one person, no one stopped it. And the way she was beat, it was totally planned, a planned attack. These things are wrong. This is vicious. This is wrong. So, that's something that I can see that they did. And that was very classless, distasteful. So I think you could probably only imagine what's really going on out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I just, again, I abide in the shadow of the Almighty. And that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't really, but I just have to say that living in a country where people are like where people bully and plan attacks and are so vicious, it doesn't feel good. It feels really, really like uncomfortable. And I just want to get out of here and just pray that we can get out of here and go someplace safe for brown people and just kind of like contribute to that community there and just live the rest of our lives praising Jesus Christ there. Because, like, I've had like enough, and far more than enough. And I didn't even know, like, I would have been gone if I would have known for sure that every single like notion that I had about like the movies being real, all these different things that they said were conspiracies. And I'm like, I've had some notions, and then I see the conspiracy, like, oh my gosh, I believe it. I believe that too. And then you're a conspiracy theorist all of a sudden also. It's like ridiculous. I think America's kind of ridiculous with this crap. So yeah. So okay, so going back to that. So the reason why I even brought up the Netflix thing is like, so people sharing information, going back telling people, like in that article, you clearly see how they're saying that, like literally the article itself is reporting on what was said by a representation of Israel about Iran. Like, what is happening? So do you know what's going to happen? So them even saying that, putting that out there is going to be like, oh wow, we're going to be your entrees, huh? I think not. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like a lot of he say, she say. And oh my gosh, I think I deleted this video that is going to be the fourth topic that we're going to talk about. So that'll be the fourth video. If you guys are not in the live stream, then you're going to be watching this like in different videos. So hit the bell for that one. So, but first, I want to talk about the brilliant. So, should we take the brilliant 10-year-old for last and just find the tariffs? I saw this crazy ping pong thing about the tariffs where this lady, she just explained it so well. I don't want to keep you guys here for too much longer though. It was just awesome. It's like an Asian channel. Um,
They forgot to add one thing. Spread the word as you want to.
Picking that up. Do you think that means we're technically immortal in some capacity?
Well, we are.
Okay. So this 10-year-old, he, I don't know if you guys saw this. This was about 10 days ago. And this is on something called Dead Talks podcast. It's really crazy. I didn't even know that. So just really quickly, I felt like the way he felt as a child. I don't know if I'm going to play that part, but I did watch most of this. And then I clicked off toward the end. Because, that's where we kind of differed in belief there. But yeah, I encourage you to, check out the Dead Talks podcast. This is interesting because, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but if you try to reach me, one of the links says official native king and queen show gmail.com. And so this channel initially was started as the official native king queen show. And I had podcasts on here, interviews, and I was doing podcast interviews with writers and everything. And I was getting paid for that. No one stopped fooling with me. I just stopped doing that. And it wasn't a lot of money that I was getting paid, but that's not the point. It was just a project that I was doing at the time and I was interested in it. It was something to get like my feet wet into the YouTube thing. And I just went straight forward with like interviewing people. It went really well. Things just need time to grow, but it really went well just for like something new to put out there. And so I'm saying all that to say that things come in full 360 because I am going to start doing the interviews again. And this is because, not because of this, but this reminded me to share that with you all in case you guys would like to be interviewed on my channel. So yeah, hit me up in the email and let me know. Because I will interview you, everyone is interesting in to me in some kind of way. I'm not going to say in every way, but everyone has a level of interest and air or mystery about them because you don't know them, and we all have a story to tell. So, and I do have more of a direction now to go with the interviews, that I want to go in. Just interviewing writers was just kind of like, it wasn't something that I felt inside that I can keep going. You know what I mean? You gotta feel it. For me, I just doing things just for money can be a drag. You know what I'm saying? And you can't just do anything for money because you have integrity. So, for me, enjoying what I'm doing is the best. Okay. So that's that for that. And I would have loved to interview this brilliant 10-year-old kid. Um, yeah. So, oh yeah, really quickly, just so you can guys know. So yeah, those are some really cool updates coming up to the channel with the interviews, and then I'm getting another cell phone. So there's a lot of things that's going to, a lot of doors that's going to open up on. For the Vibe Report and over Princess Life at Radio, and also for you guys here, as far as like call-in shows. I'm going to start call-in shows, and yeah, it's going to be really cool. Yeah. Really cool like this kid. So I'm not going to play the entire thing, but I did want to share a snippet with you. So this kid, back to like I was saying, when I was younger, I immediately saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, he reminded me, his spirit reminded me of mine because he's like so happy and so silly and and life is a bowl of cherries, and I mean that's one of the things that was like duly noted, like literally noted about me, was that like you're really resilient. I recording. Okay. You're really resilient, throughout my entire life. So I love this kid and I wish he was my friend when I was younger because that was my issue. Like I wondered about death and everything, and it made me very, very sad and very, very scared. Um, and I would say anxious and panic almost to a panic. But listen to this kid.
Whatever this world is, even though it seems like we can't even define life in only a few words. But what does it mean to you in regards to the idea that if we're made of stardust, tell me if that's true, first of all, because I may be making that up. Do you think that means we're technically immortal in some capacity?
Well, we are. Well, we are immortal in a sense of the afterlife, but in real life, it's not like you're gonna live forever. You're gonna die, and that sounds sad, but no. Would you want to see all of your loved ones around you just die off, and then you had to keep finding new people and new love and new everything, and you get some bad tattoos and you can't even take it off and you just have to live with it forever? Would you want that?
I don't know. I just saw a friend get her tattoos removed. So clearly she made a bad decision and is trying to get some kind of correction on that.
Yeah, and also, what about the bumps and bruises? Like, if you scratch your leg and you don't get it fixed and it gets infected, you just have to live with a leg that looks like the nasty patty.
A nasty patty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard that before, but it actually makes so much sense. Now I'm going to start using that with your permission, of course. So, you have such a beautiful way of seeing the world. And do you think, is that completely blended with the philosophy or anything of your findings with science? Or is there some things that just go beyond science because we can't prove it, but you still believe it?
Yeah. So I do believe in God, and even though science does point to a God, it doesn't explicitly prove a God, because evolution and the creation story directly contradict. Although I have created a relativistic theory of it, which says since God is so massive, what what to him is 7 days is a billion trillion years to us, because he bends space and bends time. So what for us is a long time, for him is a short time.
Yes. Yes, sir. Okay. So beautiful. He's so beautiful. He's so amazing. You know, God's love is so beautiful and amazing. Look at his people. And so that boy is on the right track. I want to say 99%. Go watch the video and let me know why you say I say 99%. Come back, sign up for the newsletter. So then, you know what I'm saying? We can go back and forth there about it. Miriam, sign up for the newsletter because you like to really communicate with me. Do that. Sign up for the newsletter, Miriam, please. So we can be yeah, because that's going to be yeah, it's lock in with me guys on the newsletter at gaslitnews@beehive.com. And yeah, no, life is a beautiful thing to be lived throughout its exact the way it's supposed to be. I find no flaw in the Lord's design in anything. And that's just the way it is. Yes. And, I just pray that I can, grow to be brave and like this little boy about that whole, situation with, the end of life. I pray that I can grow to be as brave as him, and I can get back to being as resilient and silly. I'm pretty still silly and resilient, but my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Don't you just love that kid? So yeah, guys. Well, I hope you love this video by liking the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel, Gaslit News. And I'm going to see you in the next one. And don't forget, sign up for the Gaslit newsletter at gaslitnewsbeehive.com. I think that's the address, but it's also in the description, and probably I'll put it up here. Bam, bam. And so, yeah, guys. That's what I gotta do before I come on camera. I gotta do that. Guys, welcome back to Gaslit News. All right, guys. I'll see you next time.